Hello, it is I, Katie Morton.
And Jenn Palmer.
Together we are divinely guided. We're both intuitives, energy healers, and spiritual teachers.
And every Thursday night, we come to you live to answer questions that you might have for your spirit guides and loved ones.
Hooray! Hello, Faye Robbins has joined us. Hello, Faye.
Hey, Faye.
So you guys, if you have any questions for us, you can go ahead, or for your guides more accurately, go ahead and type them in. And our first up tonight is Danielle Lear. Danielle says, good evening, beautiful ladies. Good evening to you, beautiful lady. Any messages for me at this time? Okay. That was my dog.
Always.
Snurfing and grunting. Gurfing, as we call it. Hi, Shelby. Oh, sweet girl.
So, the first thing I saw, Danielle, is, you know how when you're decorating cupcakes, but you're decorating them with little tiny different colored candies. It's they're like little sprinkle type things. And I saw you doing that and laying them on top of the cupcakes very precisely, but there's a nostalgic feeling with it. And I'm not exactly sure what the message is yet, but I just wanted to tell you what I saw in case it made any sense to Katie. I think what I'm getting with this is, you know, we all have this sense of nostalgia for the things that brought us joy and comfort in the past. And sometimes it seems like it's in this day and time, it just kind of feels like it's hard to get that feeling of comfort sometimes. Mm-hmm. And to find it within, it's not that we need to find it in old ways of enjoying and bringing in comfort in any kind of way, whether that's through your friendships or loved ones or whatever it is. It's really within.
That makes sense, because what I saw was you, Danielle, you had all the decorations out on the table, and it was like, which one should I use? And then you started pounding the table, and all the sprinkles were jumping up, and you were like, which one is it? I was like, so I didn't say anything, because I was like, what? But that makes sense, because it's like that search for what's going to work, and it felt like, you know, nothing, none of this stuff is going to work, because it's outside of you. So that makes sense.
Well, I'm also getting a sense of the creative expression and the idea of the masterpiece of that creation. It's time to move on to a different phase. And it also feels like, you know, in this vision that I had, that I saw you working on this cupcake and precisely decorating it, that it was being made for somebody else. And whatever this phase is, you're moving into making it for yourself. Mm. It's a self-expression for self, for whatever it is that you are working through as your soul's mission in this lifetime and experience. But I still feel like sometimes you're looking for the comfort of the old ways, and they want you to understand that that's not the way forward. That's not going to bring you the same comfort.
Yeah, I was just getting two things about that. One is that when we're looking for comfort from the old ways or from things outside of us, it's like there's never enough, right? Because it's like we're trying to satisfy and it doesn't satisfy. So we keep trying maybe different things or more of one thing or less of it, whatever. We're trying to like figure it out. And it is really about, I feel like the sweetness of life is for you, and it is already there. It's almost like we overlook it a lot of times because we all have it within at all times. And it's really just accessing it reliably and deeply is what we really need. But I feel like you're like right there, and it's just really, it's like remembering that and remembering to go there and to go deep, you know, a lot. It feels like more, like a little more, like keep at it, keep doing it.
Yeah, it's good. I think that's it.
I think so too. Okay. She said, doggy snorts, the best message. The best message ever, doggy snorts. Yes, Danielle, I agree. Okay, so Jess Max says, good evening, ladies. Hope you are both doing well. We hope the same for you, Jess. Any messages for me? Thanks. Okay.
So I have this sense, it's kind of funny, where you're like treading water and you're really happy. Things are fine. Things are good. Things are good. Things are good. But the moment you look down and go deep, it's like you fall through the water, or maybe you're afraid that you're going to fall through the water. But that's the image I had. It's like, things are good. I'm riding the wave. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. But then if I see something that I don't like, it's boom. I think what they're trying to say with this, and we'll see what Katie gets, is it's great to ride the wave, and it is also great to see, the depths and the darkness sometimes, and to see what you need to work on and where things are. But to remember that, like, so much of this, it's real and it's so important, and then also it's also an illusion, and we have to remember that and not take ourselves so seriously, so that when we get to those down points, that we're able to wrap our heads around it kind of quickly and come back up on top and process things in a higher space. Because, even though people say, don't ignore, and you never want to ignore the depths of the experience, because that's always important, but you don't want to stay there. You want to get what you need to get out of it and come back out and process, let the sunlight hit it. And, but don't be afraid to go, looking where you need to look. Maybe not looking unnecessarily, but looking where you need to look to find the information and the darkness and the things that, in your own shadow self that you need to pull up and heal.
Yeah, and I was getting the image of you scaling like a big rough pine tree, and you like climbed right up it real fast, and then up on the side of this tree was a woodpecker, and you were like, oh. And to me that symbolized what Jen was saying, was go higher, like when you're looking and finding unexpected things, so it was sort of illustrating a bit more of what Jen was saying. But also for me, the woodpecker represents the idea of persistence, and it's also go higher, see things differently, higher perspective, and also be persistent in it. And don't be afraid to just keep like pecking away at it if you feel like you're not getting it at first, to just keep going with whatever it is, and stay, make the effort to stay high too.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting anything else. I think that was it.
I think so too.
All right. Hope it helps.
Me too. Carrie Goulet says, hi, ladies. So nice to see you, beautiful ladies. Do my guides have anything for me today? Okay, Carrie.
So I just heard mission, mission, mission. I think what they're saying, I don't know if you've been trying to nail down or define exactly what you were here to do. I think what they're saying with this is to stay open and flexible, allow it to move and twist and turn where it needs to, because where it is right now, while perfect and you understand pretty much where you're meant to be right now, it shifts and changes as you move forward, and they don't want you to feel like this is it.
That makes sense, because what they were saying to me was look back at who you were 10 years ago. And they're just saying you're a completely different person now. And 10 years ago, you could not have imagined these wild changes that were coming for you. And so it's holding
coming for you.
They're coming for you. So it's hold that perspective. Like the selenite. Anyway, sorry. I like the selenite. It's nice. Yes. Anyway, so The point is, don't have nightmares, Carrie. Yeah, here's the thing. I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago, and I'm still rapidly changing and rapidly evolving. And there is no arriving. It's fantastic. You're just going to keep growing. So yeah, just stay light on your feet and
don't get too comfortable where you're at.
Well, like I don't want to say that because it's like, inner peace, right? We all
yeah, but I mean, like, don't like sit on your laurels and think, okay, this is it, I've arrived.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Be happy though. I also feel it's like having gratitude and taking stock of how far you come and honoring those changes and honoring the changes to come and joyful anticipation of the changes to come.
I don't think I'm getting anything else, but I think they just really want you to understand the depths of this message. It's deeper than I think you might think it is. So maybe make a note of it and keep reminding yourself to just stay open to where things are flowing. I think that's all I'm getting.
Same.
All right.
Okay, Vicky Swartney says, "Hey, Jenn and Katie, any messages for me tonight?" Okay, Vicky.
Hey, lady. So I saw an image of a dog. Actually, it looked like a German Shepherd, I think, or something. And then it was like boom, 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 boom. And it was almost like the dog tripled. And then like it tripled from there. It was like this expansive, it almost seemed like, I think, because I know you work with animals or you're studying to really work with animals and be an animal communicator and working on them and healing them. And it feels like, I think that's what they're talking about, the expansion of that as your business and your mission. Although, again, I feel like this isn't the only thing that you're here for, but it does feel like that is quickly going to take off.
Yeah, and some of the impressions I'm just having, in case you have any doubts about it or need any reassurance about it, people really do want to know what their animals are thinking. I was also sensing some doubts. I don't know if these are conscious or subconscious of like, well, what if I get it wrong? And it's like, don't worry about any of that. It just feels like it's going to be great. It's going to be fine. And it does feel like it'll grow, it'll grow. I feel like as a field and personally for you.
Yeah, I was getting that. I think over the next couple of years, a lot of the spiritual industry, healing, spiritual coaching, guidance, intuitive guidance, I think a lot of this is really going to take off. I know we've been shown like a tidal wave of people waking up to it and realizing the benefit. So yeah, just keep working it. I don't think I'm getting anything else.
I think that is it.
All right. Hope it helps.
Yeah. Dawn Guilford says, "Hello, ladies. Do you have any messages for me?"
So the first thing I saw was an image of a horse. And a lot of times when that comes through, it's about personal power. But I asked that and they said, no, that's not the message. And then I saw an image of a motorcycle. So I don't know how these are linked. Maybe it's about freedom or something like that. But I wanted to tell you what I was getting in case you were getting something.
I just keep hearing the phrase "the open road" repeated. So, the open road.
When I heard expansion, I think this is about personal growth and development. And it just feels like you've either just been through a really expansive period of time, which wouldn't surprise me given, everything that's been going on, but either that or you're about to. And there have been different catalysts or, challenges. We like to call them catalysts, catalysts for growth, gifts, to bring forth, the changes that are needed within self. It's why we're here. We're here to experience these things. And but I do feel like you've been experiencing some deeper growth lately than maybe you have in the past.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a heart opening as well, which is great. It's very important. That's really why we're here.
And it feels, go ahead.
I was going to say, and heart opening does not necessarily mean romantic. It can just mean being in that open, loving space unconditionally for humanity, for life, for your life's work, your soul's mission, all the things. And it helps us to ascend, to have an open heart. And it also is really important. I'm hearing the term GPS. That's a term that I use all the time to talk about. A healed heart is a great GPS. A closed heart. Yeah, a wounded closed heart is a crappy GPS. So congratulations. What they showed me, I'll tell you the image I saw was the heart blossoming with flowers, which for me is about growth. And it's a very positive sign.
Yeah. And the other thing I was getting to is like just more self-awareness. I think a lot of us, it's so hard to see our blind spots. We all have them. And
oh God, you should tell me all my blind spots later, Jen. Make a list.
I think we already have.
Keep going.
I know. But anyway, it just feels like you've been made aware of some of your blind spots, and you're very open to looking at them and seeing them for what they are. Which, when once you start looking at your blind spots and you start diving into the your own darkness, we all have it, but you start diving in and wanting to heal it and shine the light on those things. And then it starts this upward spiral of just betterment, and you become a better person. You have a better energy. You're more healed, and then you make better decisions, and you bring in better people, that are maybe in alignment with where you're trying to be. And then it's just a great spiral. And I feel like something like that has been going on for you. And if not, hasn't, is about to.
Yeah. And what I was hearing too is even during that process, it can, even though a lot of times it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes you can feel like you're circling the toilet bowl. It doesn't always feel like an upward spiral because you're getting new lessons, new tests. And so it might seem, I am feeling like it might seem sometimes like, why do I keep bringing in the same like crappy variety of people and circumstances? And it's a refining of the lessons. And it does feel like you're on the tail end of it, and that it will start shifting to be much more obviously positive, if not already. I feel like maybe you've seen some slight shifts, but I do feel like it's going to start changing like with a bit more obvious drama, like in the positive.
Yeah. And just keeping in mind that, the struggles that we go through, the things that are difficult for us are meant to help us on that upward trajectory, if we choose to allow it to. And, but I still just keep coming back to, I think you have figured some of that out. And I think that's why I hope this resonates with you, but it feels like it really, like you're kind of nailing it, basically. You're kind of nailing it. Yeah. Kind of.
Okay.
I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. Joylyn. Hi, Joylyn. She says, hi, ladies. It's great to catch you. Lots of uncertainty around my job is taking me next. Okay. Did you hear that weird shift in the energy?
I did.
Okay.
That's why I was just kind of like,
that was strange. So what they showed me was they've shown you driving for me all the time for some reason. And you were driving in the car And it was just like, you're just, when somebody puts their hand out the window and they're just sort of flowing with like the airflow. And it was like, you're sort of relaxed in the seat and you're just doing this with flow out the window. And it just feels like go with the flow. Don't try to look ahead or anticipate, or, we want to know what's around the corner. I totally get it. And then we want to try to know all the things so that we can know all the decisions, and it just feels like, just go with the flow, flow with it. It doesn't feel like there's anything really to know right now or to decide upon even right now. It just feels like wait a little while and just cruise.
Yeah, I definitely heard go with the flow. That was the one thing I heard, and I was trying to get more information. They're not giving too much more.
Sometimes what I am feeling like is that the information isn't quite there yet because, life, right? It's unpredictable. And it does, like, they're showing me the X of the crossroads. And what that can often mean is there's a decision point. It seems to me like it's going to depend on outside factors. At this point, it doesn't feel like the decision is there for you to make yet. You're sort of standing in the space of like crossroads. To us, I used to think crossroads meant like, oh, it's a decision point, fast movement. You can stand in a crossroads for years. Sometimes, not that you will, but I'm just saying it does feel like kind of just chill out and slow your roll. I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's a ruckus going on in this place right now. Anyway,
there's dogs snorting and
kids with sticks running around. Anyway. Yeah, it just does feel like back up off the question. It doesn't feel like it's there yet. The information isn't there yet to even decide upon. And it does feel like if there is something for you to decide upon right now, I just feel like wait.
I'm not really getting very much, but the only thing I was really getting a hint of, but I don't feel like I'm hitting the nail on the head. So I'm just going to say like what I was pushing at, but just know I don't feel like it's totally accurate. It was something along the lines of, now is a great time to really focus within, to really tune into what is it that you really want, but through a lens that's just you, not in any kind of a direction where, well, I wonder how this would affect this person, or if I could, enjoy catching up with this person, or, like it's not about anybody else. And it's truly just being in alignment with what your soul is trying to experience through all of this. And, but I feel like there's more to it, and I don't want to reach. I'm just trying to let it come in, and I'm not quite getting it. So are you getting anything else along with that?
No, I really just don't feel like there's a whole lot for you to do right now. And I know it's hard to be patient. With everything we say, like use your own discernment, of course. But I feel like it's just not time to make any moves right now.
Yeah, I really do think there's something to what was coming up, but I don't feel like it's 100% coming through for some reason, or maybe they just need you to ponder it and figure it out. But it's something to do with coming in truly into your heart space, but through that soul connection of what is it that you're really trying to understand and experience through all of this, and what is the, I don't want to say end goal, but what is the goal of all of this for your growth? A lot of times we make really important decisions or whatever it is when we're kind of in a space that's more concerned with the 3D existence and what's going on around us and the people around us, instead of well, what is our soul really here to do? And it feels something to do with that. But I don't feel like quite getting the words. And I think it's because they want you to access that, maybe without my influence on that.
I feel like that makes perfect sense.
Okay. Well, I hope it helps. I don't know how helpful all that really was, but
It's up to you, kid.
yeah, good luck.
Good luck. Okay, Faye Robbins, please ask Spirit if I'm raising my vibration. If not, how can I? Thank you. So, Faye, I actually put up a post in response to a question you recently asked, and it's 8 ways, I think, to darn it, what is it? Somebody volunteer the title in the questions. If you go to divinelyguided.tv, one of the most recent posts that I put up was about, I think, 8 ways to feel better in stressful times. And that was inspired by a question, Faye, that you asked. And it's about 8 ways to raise your vibration. And how to get through stressful times. So, but we'll tune in for you and see what they say.
Well, the first thing I'm getting is, a lot of times what we feel is what we emit. So if we're not feeling the best about something, that's what we're emitting. That's our vibration. But our feelings come largely from our thoughts about something. How we think about our life is how things generally show up. So if we're feeling down about something or victimized by something or whatever it is, that's the level that we're at. So always remember that, what we're thinking, that's the consciousness work, is vital. You can't raise your vibration and have crappy thoughts. So anywhere where you're not quite thinking the best things, or whatever it is you're thinking maybe isn't as good as it could be about a situation or a person or whatever, work on that.
Yeah, and I want to add, so they sort of took me up to a bird's eye view, and they showed this sort of, there's more energies involved in this that you're having to fight against, that aren't, it's not all yours. And there's this idea of pendulums that, not like we usually talk about it, but it's like groups of people vibrate. And so, at certain levels, because maybe they have certain levels of consciousness. And so there's like massive groups of people at like this vibration, and then there's a massive group of people at this vibration. And you might be one of the people who, like, you're supposed to be vibrating up here, but then sometimes what can happen is we have just a little hook or just a little thought that's off. It's not like some huge grave error or anything, but we can get hooked into the lower pendulum, and it feels like there's other energies that you're having to sort of fight against. Like, I feel like this isn't just about you that's causing this feeling of dragging it down. It feels like you're having to work a little harder than you normally would have if it was just you. And it does. So when that happens, because I've had that happen before, and it's like it could feel like it's not even my stuff, or like I should be better than this. It could feel like that. But it's really important to just be like, all right, well, I've got a thing. I have a string that got plucked. Now I'm resonating at this lower level. So I always just focus on, well, what's the thing? We'll root it out. We'll do the healing on it so that I can get back up here. But it's like just being very, very mindful of the thinking, of the wounds, and doing the healing work so that you don't get sucked in. Because once you get sucked in on the lower, it's like much harder to like fight your way back up to where you belong, basically. And it also feels like in order to do this, it's ongoing work. It's ongoing work for all of us, for a lot of us, really, to have to keep doing it. So it's like getting into that empowered fighting spirit about it, and the joy space about it, as opposed to like, it's easy to get into victim about it, of like, why do all those dummies got to vibrate down there, and why do they have to keep dragging me into their crap? Like, that's a great way to stay down in it, right? Like, so it's just being that fighter that you can be, and just really learning to like love the dummies down here unconditionally and not judging them, but just learning to vibe up out of that mode. I do feel like there's more work that you have to do, and that it's it feels hard because it is hard, and because it's not all you. It just feels like a big group that you're kind of getting sucked into. and individuals and spirits. I feel like there's a mix of things going on, and you really just have to vibe up out of it. It's the mastery, it's the mastery work that we came here for. And some people have a harder, I guess, lesson or mission with it than other people do, but the rewards are great. If you can master this, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard, how's that song go? It's like, gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face.
Yeah, I don't think I'm getting anything else. I was kind of getting a little something, but it wasn't really coming through strong. So, but I think so I'll just say it though, but it reminds me of, coming back to your thoughts, because you have to be aware of the things as they're coming up to even know that you're vibing with somebody or a group or something that's not where you ideally maybe could be, where you would naturally be otherwise. So an interesting thing that they do in Access Consciousness is to just ask the question every time you have a thought, go through this process where you say, well, it's an interesting point of view that I have that point of view. It's an interesting point of view that I have that point of view. And you just keep saying it until you feel distanced from that thought, whatever it is, or that belief, whatever it is. And it helps to separate you a little bit from whatever it is. But, again, it takes thinking to even do that. You have to be aware of where your thoughts are and where you're thinking of things so that you can do that work. Most of us just don't even question it. But yeah, that was another thing I was getting, is maybe a little tip or a trick to kind of help you see it.
Yeah, and one last thing I was just getting is the idea of, for example, let's say if somebody has money stress and they're just like, I just can't, I know I'm not supposed to look at it this way, and I just can't see it another way. It was the idea of learning to, let's say if you see a penny on the ground, of like almost exaggerating, like,
I love finding pennies on the ground.
This isn't a penny, but this is amazing. Look at this penny. It's a massive sign from the universe, and like letting you like get carried away with it. If you can do it in a genuine way where you're like, I'm so excited. Penny!
I have a special zipper pocket in my wallet where I put my good luck money that I find.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah, it's like finding a way to just like to bring in the flow and the rush and like the fun again about a certain topic.
Yeah, I love finding pennies, especially. And of course, I would love finding a $20 bill too. But I like finding pennies because it says, "In God we trust," and I always feel like that's a message.
Yeah, ever since you told me that, I look at it the same way. Yeah. And I think that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Rachel Rose Farber asks, any messages for me tonight?
Hi,
Okay,
there.
Rachel. Hello, Shelby. Shelby snorts.
I just heard someone say it's time to move, but I don't know if that means like location or if it means in life to do something. Like to take action. I don't know what this means either. I literally just heard 3 meetings will take place. I don't know what this means, or it's very specific and very direct. Whatever this is, it feels positive. I just heard like, don't be afraid, don't be in fear. So I don't know if I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about, but I'm just telling you what I'm getting. Don't be afraid, don't be in fear. It does feel like everything is unfolding, not to be worried about where things end up or land with whatever this is about. I do feel that you're going to be experiencing more of a sense of freedom with things.
So they're saying to see what I saw. It was another bird's eye view down, and it was like you're down here and you couldn't quite see what was going on. But around you, there was all these formations and lines of people, and it was like symbolizing opportunities coming in that are as of yet unseen. That feels really good. Yeah.
It does, yeah.
I just heard divinely orchestrated.
Yeah, I was seeing almost like gears in place and things are moving. And so when it's almost like when it says it's time to move, again, I don't know if that's a physical thing or if it's career or something, but
I think it's more just about the movement of all of these opportunities, just from like the impression.
right.
that
But what I'm
like.
saying is I don't know, because it also felt like a sense of physical move. So that's why I was like, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe it's all the above. I don't know. But the gears were working. And so things are in action, although maybe it's not trickled up to the surface yet, but things are happening. But again, I just get this, I'm not positive one way or the other exactly what that means, but I do have some sort of a sense of like physically moving. And I just heard that as all. So I guess there's no more for me to get.
Alrighty.
I don't know. Anything else for you?
Nope.
All right. Geez, I hope that makes sense. That was
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting and very cryptic.
Yeah. All right. I've got a song that Jenn is going to sing next for Amy Money.
Monet, Monet.
Sorry, that was amazing. Okay. I got to dance for like 10 seconds. Not
Not
even.
even.
Like maybe 3, maybe 0.2 seconds. Okay. Amy Money says, hello, lovely ladies. Any messages for me regarding my current relationship? And P.S. I start my new job in a month. Thanks.
Awesome.
Awesome. Congrats. Okay, cool. So first thing I'm hearing is hang in there. It feels like there's unfinished business with it. So not quite sure what that means, but I'm just getting the sense that it's not complete. I hope this makes sense because you might be like, well, I thought he was going to propose. I don't know. But it just feels like there's something still to unfold. And I just feel like, wait.
Yeah, I had a sense that I only saw one quick image, but it was these two cartoon character, almost like stick figures. I don't know. They were facing each other, but they were standing separate, like, but they were facing each other and looking down. So I don't know if there's disconnection is kind of maybe the word that feels best with this image. But I saw love there and felt that. Um, and I also felt the sadness with whatever this disconnection might be. So I don't know, maybe you guys are happy together and things are great but maybe there's healing to be done. I'm not sure, but I really do get a sense that it's not in an ideal state. I think that whatever you guys are going through, there is great opportunity for more heart opening and more self-awareness and self-love, and also unconditional love of the other. You know, it's funny because it's the people who get the most deeply connected to us that are the ones that have all the power in the world, it seems, right? They can make or break your heart, and they can turn it into putty or make it this big, beautiful, bright thing. And part of what we're here to understand is, to have those people come in and kind of crack our hearts open. And it's not always a very fun process, but that cracking of the heart open is such an important process. And then we have to nurture ourselves and love ourselves, and then realize that it's, we need to open our hearts because that's what we need, not because we trust somebody, or whatever, or close our hearts because we don't trust somebody. We need to come back to that true expression of who we are as a soul inside this experience, learning the hard lessons of the heart and that wounded craziness that we all go through.
Yeah, but it's the idea too, though, is to, the heart breaks and it can heal open, and we want to keep it open because that's how we become stronger. You can be a very strong and open-hearted and loving person who becomes, once you go through that process of becoming stronger and more self-loving, it's harder to get as hurt. Like if you think about or let's say somebody, like their first boyfriend, their first heartbreak is like devastating. Like, oh my God, it's like pouring lemon juice into a paper cut. Okay, maybe it's worse than that, but it's very, very bad. And then if you can get to a point where you have your heart broken, like open, so it stays open, and you can become very healed and whole within yourself, you can get dragged through anything practically, and you're still going to come out okay. And you don't then need somebody else to make you or break you. You can be open-hearted and loving and vulnerable, and it's not gonna, there's my dog. It's not gonna feel so dire. But self-love and developing our inner strength and expressing who we are as a soul, and finding our gifts and sharing those with the world are a very important part of the process in terms of the self-preservation end of the equation, of not being trampled, of being able to be, as I like to call it, a self-watering terrarium where you're healed and whole and complete and happy, and then love is the icing on the cake as opposed to being the entire cake. So that if somebody takes the cake, you're going to starve to death. You don't want that. Be your own cake.
I like it.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense.
Me too.
And if you are happily, involved with this person and you're like, what are they talking about?
You'd be like, uh-oh.
Maybe it was a past thing that helped you get there. I'm not feeling that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tamara Hollins says, hi, Jenn and Katie. Are there messages for me?
Let's find out, Tamara.
Okay.
I don't know what this vision means yet, but I want to say it. It was very different. It was black and white, and it reminded me of like I don't know, like imagine something kind of like blinks in and then disappears and then blinks in and disappears. It was almost like it was glitching, like a hologram or something that kind of like glitches in and then disappears and then glitches in and then disappears. I don't know. That's what I saw. And then I don't know what this is either, but then I saw somebody, and this was in color, where it was black and where it was in color, but there was somebody doing ballet. It was a woman doing ballet, and it was just really fluid and beautiful, and the dance was just perfect. What is this saying?
Okay, so I'll say what I saw, which is very different. So I don't know if we can put these together, but my guides keep having me do this thing where we go up high and then we go to look down. And this time I went to look down and my guide like acted like he slipped and fell. And then he was hanging like by one hand and like he was going to drop down to, very, very far. I'm sure you can imagine who this is.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is what she feels like. Like she's going to like fall into the abyss or something and she's hanging on by one hand. So I was like, well, that sucks.
Well, the glitching part of the image I saw, I felt like it was how she feels about something that she's doing. Like she's nailing it and then she's not, or she's starting to get it and then she doesn't. So I think it's something to do with that. Maybe that's where that connects. But the ballet piece, I think what they're saying with this is it's, even if you feel like there's glitch, you're glitching.
Or you're going to fall into the abyss.
You're actually dancing a really beautiful dance, and it's really all a part of the process. So I think what I'm getting with this too is, we all go through, or we're supposed to go through this knocking down of our egoic nature in a way. We love our ego. It's a big part of us in a lot of ways, but it shouldn't be driving our bus. It shouldn't be the one making all the decisions. We really need to learn how to come from a very soulful space, not our egoic space. And it feels like a lot of times we are crashing and burning and banging our heads against a rock or glitching, whatever this is, because our ego is not happy with what we're trying to do. But our soul has its purpose here, its mission, and what we're trying to accomplish here. And sometimes it's pulling in two different directions. And I think that maybe that's a part of what this is trying to show you. However, it is a part of the process, and that seeming appearance of glitching or hanging on by a thread because you're about to fall in.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion, yeah. And it's really not what's happening. That's your egoic idea of fight or flight of what's happening, but it's not necessarily what is actually happening. You are transmuting, you're working through the egoic nature, coming more into a space of wisdom and healing and growth. And the egoic side of you doesn't always like that. It sometimes puts up a really big fight. And I feel like that's kind of something along the lines of what's going on with this message.
Yeah, I feel like even if it might not seem like it to you, that you're nailing it. Doing. Yeah, that's what our guides, we ask 0 to 10. Am I nailing it or am I screwing it up? It feels like you're a 10. You're nailing it. So don't worry. I think that's all I'm getting.
Yeah, I think that's all I'm getting too. I do want to say real quickly, we only have 10 minutes left. And if we are not getting to your question, we usually get a lot of questions. We are not skipping you on purpose. We're answering them in the order that they're coming in on our little chat app. So we promise you we're not trying to ignore you.
Yeah. And thanks for being here. And we appreciate you. And also listen for yourself in other people's questions. Because sometimes even if somebody asks something that seems like it has nothing to do with you, an answer can come through and feel like it sort of applies to you. So
Sometimes I feel like I get my questions answered with
I
this.
do too. Yeah. So roll with it. It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay, Della Dorsey. Hey, Della. She says, hi, guys. It's Della. Hi, Della.
Hi, Della.
Any messages from my team?
I heard someone said motion forward. Usually what that means is like you're moving forward, but I haven't gotten much more than that. So I don't know what it's about.
I also feel like you're nailing it, by the way. They were giving me, look, it's Della. Very positive vibes. Like, it just feels like you're doing a really good job, and you're building your patience muscles. I think a lot of us have been tested in that arena. I feel like you're doing better with that. And so I feel like they're saying good job, because a lot of people came here to learn that. But I also feel like things do feel like they're going to start coming up, Della, later this year.
So I just heard I shift is coming soon is what I heard. And it felt like things are really coming together.
Yeah, like for you on a personal level and all other ways, it does feel like things are actually finally going to start showing up. So yay. And I feel like all the ways, love, money, whatever it is you're hoping for, and whatever you've been working on manifesting. And in terms of manifesting, I feel like they're just saying, like, you've got that process, that process, and you've been working it. And I feel like they want me to add, even though some people feel like they've got it and they know it and they've been working it, it still has felt like, but why isn't it coming together? And what my guides have said is that this massive shift in the energies is going to start turning things around for a lot of people. So just keep working the energies, and we're getting there. And like, don't give up now. It's like the last mile of the marathon.
And I also feel like more is going to be unfolding with the mission side of things and what you're trying to manifest with that. I think there's going to be some more movement in that. I think a lot of things are going to pick up. I don't know what this is, but I just saw a steak. A nice big juicy steak.
I love it.
I don't know what they're saying. I don't know if you need more
iron
or B12 or something. I don't know. I don't think I'm getting anything else.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Okay. Hope that helps, Stella.
Okay. Laura Deitlin says, hoping to hear from my brother-in-law. Okay, Laura.
I've only gotten a couple of little things, and I don't know if he was just quiet by nature or what, but the first sensation I had was almost as if like I was underwater, like I could feel the pressure of the room shift, but it also felt like I was like underwater, which was an interesting feeling. And then like my heart chakra was just achy. I do feel like he's here and he's present, but I'm not getting much. I don't know if he was just quiet, but I felt the shift. Did you feel the shift?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he used to be in the Navy or something. I keep being drawn to water, and I just saw a submarine, so I don't know if he was in the Navy, or it could be another loved one. Sometimes they come through together. But it would be somebody connected with him, if not him. I'm suddenly feeling a lot of loved ones, and I feel like they're all like, "Oh, okay, yay, let's go!" And I just heard someone say Frank. So, saying Frank, I hope you know a Frank, or somebody over there knows a Frank. I do. I feel like there's a whole bunch of people here. Your brother-in-law, I'm having a really hard time connecting to.
Yeah. Well, I am hearing that he is getting healing. And so that can make them be like hard to get on the phone. Let's put it that way. I do feel like he is off getting healing. So I wouldn't, I was sort of not expecting to hear a whole lot from him, but I was waiting to see if he could come through at all.
Yeah, I think the submarine might be someone older. I'm not positive, but it feels like somebody older who passed who was in the Navy. Let me just see if they have any messages about. Well, the one thing I just feel like I want to say is, when they do get healing on the other side, we all have things that we go through here, and when we leave this existence, we often have things that we need to heal from, and then when we come back after getting the healing, we're such a different space. When the spirit does come back, they're very loving, very healed. They might still have like the same sarcasm or things, but it comes from a very high loving space as opposed to like the 3D like sarcasm. It's a different kind of expression of the same sarcasm, if that makes sense. But it does kind of feel like he will be coming back to visit. Don't worry about him. I felt like there was like worry about him. Don't worry about him. He will be back, and he will try to get you guys to see that he's around, and that he's good. Someone was just like, I heard like a little bit of a music, and as they were leaving, it kind of felt like they were saying, like, don't be surprised if he speaks to you through song. So I don't know if he was really musical or something, but I just feel like songs will speak, be a way that he comes through and gets a message across. And I think that's it. I feel like they're really pulling back. I hope that helps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think we have time for one more, and we're going to get to Carrie Ann Cusack, who is a member of our Soul Growth group, who says, "Good evening, lovely souls. Do my guides have any messages for me tonight? You two are such an inspiration and amazing mentors."
You are always so positive.
And I already have a message for you, Carrie, because I saw you had left a comment on our blog, the blog post that I mentioned earlier. It's on divinelyguided.tv, and it was about 8 ways to feel better in stressful times. And Carrie, you left a comment that said something like, you weren't feeling so great emotionally, and you weren't even sure why. And what I was getting for you was that, so I'm really glad you're here, because I've been meaning to tell you this, was that I don't feel like that those emotions belonged to you. So I do feel like, do some cord cutting, close some portals between you and anyone else that you might be connected to, that you might, that they might be going through something, or maybe they tend to be an emotional person. I do feel like their emotional energy is dragging you down a bit. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is energy dialysis. We've talked about this before, but if you suspect somebody is affecting your emotions or how you feel energetically, do energy dialysis. Here is how. So let's say I want to do an energy dialysis with my good friend Jen. What I'll do is I will choose a being who is high vibe and who could filter our energies. So I'm going to choose my friend Ganesh. So I'll say, hey Ganesh, can you work on this energy dialysis for me? And he'll say, sure, Katie, okay. So what I'll do is I'll send love, or if it's somebody you don't like very much, you don't have to send love. If
Good intentions.
Good intentions or energy of any kind. Send it to this person, ask Ganesh to receive it and filter it to be whatever that person needs. Expect the energy is going to come back to you because we're all connected. Ganesh or a different being of your choice can filter the energy to you with what you need. So because the energy is going to cycle between you, whether you like it or not. Sometimes, we can't just constantly cut the cords and close the portals, because especially if they're just thinking about us, or they're just in our field for whatever reason, it's just not always going to work. It's worth a shot. Not always going to work. Energy dialysis can help filter out, you could use Mother Mary and Jesus, or, whatever it is that works for you, to send the energy to them and to receive it in a filtered way as well.
Yeah, the whole idea is, you might really intend to send somebody love. Maybe they're mad at you or something. You're feeling barbs or sad or whatever from them. And then you want to send them love. But if there's anything less than pure, perfect, agape love, well, it's not great energy to send sometimes. It might be barbs or, little thorns or whatever that you're sending with them. Resentment for the fact that they, I don't know,
can't keep it together.
Yeah, whatever, because we are human.
Right.
And we have these emotions, and you're probably also feeling their emotion, which makes you not in the best of places, and just trying to get a hold of yourself, Get a
hold of yourself, as I like to say.
So when you're trying to purify the energy and bring in whatever might be helpful for them, and then also helpful for you, you're taking your ego out of it, and you're asking for healing for the both of you in whatever ways for the highest good. And sometimes we bring in the light of truth, or if we know what the issue might be, maybe, I don't know, I'm mad at them for something and they're ignoring me or something. And I'll say, and healing and clearing anything and everything that's bringing this issue up, and, whatever. So it's really nice. And you can really feel the difference.
Yeah. Feels good. Yeah.
Great.
And at first, it's like meditation, where sometimes it can feel overwhelming or exhausting, or like, what am I doing with this and that and that? And the more you do it, you can just zing it around. You'll be like, zingy energy flinger. Yeah. It just takes some mental practice until it can feel easy.
And then you can also intend that they just keep it going until it's done. Like, you don't need to necessarily hold the space for the entire time.
Yeah. Which is, thank God for that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I think that is it for this evening. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Actually, on Tuesday. We haven't put it up yet because I got very sidetracked this week. So busy.
Yes.
But we are talking about doing a
chit chat. Just a Jenn and Katie live. It's an extra bonus live where we're just going to get on here and we're going to talk about what is it like to connect with spirit guides. Yeah. So if you're wondering what it's like for us, you might even already be intuitive. Maybe it's different for you. I don't know.
Or maybe you have questions about how.
Yep. We're going to talk about connecting with your guides and our guides. Okay. Right. So we'll see you Tuesday at 7. And again next Thursday at 7. It's a busy week. All right. Good night, everybody.
Guys.
Bye.